We have some very interesting news to get into regarding the Philadelphia 76ers, or should I say New Jersey 76ers, based on what was currently reported. We got this update recently saying that the state of New Jersey is looking to acquire the Philadelphia 76ers. Per NROINJ News, quote, the state of New Jersey is making a serious push to convince the Philadelphia 76ers to move to New Jersey and into a new arena that would be built in Camden. Four people familiar with this discussion confirmed to ROI-NJ. The source indicated that talks have picked up recently, in part because of HBSE's efforts to build a new arena in Center City, Philadelphia, have hit repeated roadblocks, despite the fact that the owners have indicated they would self-finance the $1.3 billion proposed project. So a lot to get into here. We know that this has kind of been a swirling subject for a while now. The Sixers have made this proposal for the brand new Market East 76 place that is expected to look something like this, popping up right there in Center City. There's a lot of different angles to get into here. And to start off with, there you can have the pros and cons to all this. And to kind of put the business model here, it's very clear that Sixers ownership wants to have their own building. And to dive into the reasons why is we know currently the setup of the Philadelphia facilities. I think one of the cooler things of any area in the country is that they are all within kind of the same area. There's Lincoln Financial Field, there's Wells Fargo, and there's Citizens Bank Park, of course, representing the Phillies, the Eagles, the Sixers, and the Flyers. Now, where the disconnect is the Flyers own the Wells Fargo Center to an extent, Comcast Spectacor. So essentially these Sixers are tenants to the Flyers or to Comcast officially there. So when you talk about valuing a franchise, that's a significant hit there. When you think about all the conversations that people had about buying versus renting a house and all that type of mortgage thing, it's a little bit similar, but in a larger scale with these sports corporations. So for the Sixers specifically, they're very clearly want their top dollar, want their top value, and that comes with owning your own resources or owning your own building there. So that is kind of what has led to this proposal for 76 place on Market East here. Now, we've gotten kind of the pitch here throughout the time, and to dive into a little bit of what the Sixers are pushing with this, they write that this is the right move for Philadelphia. The 76ers' need for a modern and permanent home aligns with the city's need to revitalize Market East, a section of Center City dealing with increased vacancy and decreased foot traffic, creating a win-win opportunity. The 76ers are bringing the full funding required to build the arena, injecting an unprecedented $1.55 billion in private dollars to revamp the struggling Market East area. This project will generate tax revenue, helping to fund the vital city services. It will increase foot traffic and commerce for Market East and local businesses. It will directly create 9,100 construction jobs for Philly residents. Over a 30-year period, it will create over $1.5 billion in new tax revenue for the school district, city, and state. 18 of the 20 markets have downtown arenas. Philly has a sports and entertainment culture second to none, and we deserve the same. 8 other major markets have multiple arenas, 4 of which are in the same size or smaller than Philadelphia, including Miami, Phoenix, and Minneapolis. So that all sounds great in the bullet points. When you dive into logistics, it's a little bit more of a difficult sell. That for anyone that has been into Philadelphia and walked through Center City, it's not like you can look at different areas and say, oh, that would be a great place for a sports arena. That would fit just perfect there. There's going to need to be a lot of construction to be done. Now, my honest opinion on this, and everyone can feel differently, is I think if you do it right, it could be very successful and work. Think about kind of closer to like a New York model and what they have with Madison Square Garden, where it is central to the city, constantly people walking in and out. Now, I also spoke about how cool I think it is that all these organizations operate in the same kind of parking lot area. That to me is very cool when you're walking out of the Wells Fargo Center and seeing Citizens Bank Park lit up or seeing Lincoln Financial Field over there. I think there is something special about that. And again, I do get the economic effects of this and I understand the push. You were also seeing, I think clearer than ever when looking at how the NBA operates and really any sports league, is you can tell which owners are operating things as a business and which ones are in this for a genuine passion for sports. And to unfortunately call a spade here, is Sixers ownership is in it for the bottom dollar. That when you think about Josh Harris, David Blitzer, and the guys that own this, they also own the New Jersey Devils and the Washington Commanders. So 2 of the rival sports to other franchises that they are sharing that very same parking lot with. Now, for this pitch as a whole, in regards to New Jersey, I don't think there's a lot here. Now, do I think, and obviously we know that they already have their training facility in Camden, there is the connection. I'm sure it's possible. But to me, this feels completely like a leverage play, that they're using this threat of moving to New Jersey as a way to kind of get the ball rolling with getting the process done in Philadelphia. And shout out to Crossing Broad, who's done some really good work, honestly better than any of the the quote-unquote major corporations at this point, such as the Philadelphia Inquirer and stuff like that. I think Crossing Broad has nailed their coverage of this. They sat down with David Adelman to talk directly face-to-face, and there's a couple things that I do want to break down. So first, Kevin Kincaid of Crossing Broad writes the list of flaws here, and he says, it's one thing to set up smokescreen, but this misdirection amounts to burning down the Amazon rainforest. Why? Because one, the Sixers have spent millions of dollars over the past 2 years on this project. Two, they have gone to dozens and dozens of meetings with Chinatown, Washington Square, West Philly's black clergy, and everyone else under the sun. Three, they were shouted down in one of those meetings, and David Gold walked out the door. Four, they are fully funding the PIDC study. 5, they've been crushed nonstop by the Philadelphia Inquirer and other media outlets. 6, they reportedly gave $400,000 to Jeff Brown's failed mayoral campaign. 7, there are lobbyists and PR company in the mix. 8, they've accused opposition members of anti-Semitism and battled publicly with people like Faye Anderson and Howard Eskin. And last but not least, David Adelman is on the record saying the Sixers will not go to New Jersey. Have people broken promises before? Yeah, of course. But this amounts to painting yourself in a corner. You can't self-sabotage yourself to the point where you'd be taking an even bigger reputational hit to get what you allegedly always wanted in the first place. It would take the dumbest and most expensive smokescreen of all time. They could have just gone directly to New Jersey and absorbed the tax money and criticism. There would have been no need for the entire song and dance in the first place. So a lot to digest from this here specifically. The first thing that I kind of want to get into is, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about this, that it would be incredibly frustrating to the fan base if they actually do move to New Jersey. And at the end of the day, when you're talking about the bottom dollar and making these type of economics, you need people to come to the game. And I don't think that is going to promote business in the way that the goal of this 76 place should be, as building in Center City and having all these access for people to be able to transport, than it is going over to Camden, New Jersey. Now, there is plenty of space there. I'm sure there's cheaper land and you can make it work in a far easier way. But the reality is, if the end goal or the end product of building that all up is not this massive success, then why do it at all? And there is a very cool moment in that interview with Crossing Broad where they directly pin David Adelman down. Is like, the conspiracy theory out here is you guys could be considering New Jersey, and he directly says how no, the Sixers will never be in New Jersey, that we've been firm on that since the beginning, which floats right back in why I do think this is a leverage play. But a couple more notes that I did want to dive into this. This also coming from Crossing Broad here, that Kevin writes, my reasoning is twofold. One, we have David Adelman on the record saying the Sixers won't go to New Jersey, saying, quote, I promise you that Josh Harris, David Blitzer, and I have said from day one that this is a Philadelphia team and it's not moving to New Jersey. 2, the biggest Sixers fans in the Commonwealth also runs the Commonwealth. That's Governor Josh Shapiro, who I'm 99% sure had a basketball court at his election night headquarters. There is no way that Shapiro would allow the Sixers to leave Pennsylvania while he's in Harrisburg. Not a chance, based on what I was told last summer. Quote, I'll just say, as governor, as a huge Sixers fan, I want to make sure these Sixers are here for a good long while, and that they have a great facility to play in. If the Market Street Arena plan is shot down and New Jersey actually becomes a real threat, he'd step in and squash it. So another great reason there from Kevin. And kind of the bigger overarching point that I want to bring into now is just, there's a lot that goes into this. This is not just the decision of, hey, let's go on vacation here this day. Let's move the franchise here this day. It takes a whole lot of legwork to even make this possible. A whole lot of just campaigning, going through, figuring out the tax benefits, figuring out all these different aspects. There's a lot that goes into this type of decision. So this ball is going to take plenty of time to get rolling. And to the Sixers' credit, they've very been clearly active in trying to make this go down. And it still is moving at a snail's-like pace. So at the earliest, we're talking about many years in the future of this even actually being built. I don't think it is happening. I don't think we have to worry about the New Jersey Sixers coming anytime soon. The reality is, I do think this is being used as a power play to try and push the city to get things moving a little bit quicker. I still don't know if the building ends up happening or how things go from there, but the bottom line is, buckle up, we're in it for the long haul. But for us here on Sixers Digest, hopefully we're going to talk a lot more about the on-court product than anything else about these politics moving forward. So we will see how things shape out, but I would not be in a rush to crown them the crown them the New Jersey 76ers anytime soon. But I do appreciate you guys for tuning into this video. I do want to hear what your guys' thoughts are on this in the comment. I know this is a pretty controversial topic, and I do see all sides of it, so we'd love to hear what you guys are thinking. I would love to kind of get a feel for the pulse of what people feel on that overall. So let me know what you guys think below. Also, make sure you're dropping a like and dropping a subscribe on the channel if you have not already. We got plenty more coming out right here on Sixers Digest. Back home from Las Vegas now, so going to be back on the grind and ripping out videos on the regular, so stay tuned for all of that. I'll be talking with you next time. Peace.